Hi there, my name is Alan Lamont. I am bringing out a revelation of the Saturnalian Brotherhood, the Babylonian Brotherhood. This is the real Babylonian religion that covers the entire earth. In fact, all religions at the highest levels are part of the Saturnalian Brotherhood. They're part of the Babylonian Brotherhood, and it is this brotherhood that rules the governments, it rules the Vatican, and as I've said, it rules all nations and religions. Now, I was asked a question in my last video about the symbol of the dragon serpent biting its own tail. What was it? Well, okay, the name is Ouroboros, which is Ouroboros, Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros is an ancient symbol that depicts a serpent and a dragon eating its own tail, because it is the serpent dragon. They're both one and the same. It's not a serpent and the dragon, it's a serpent dragon, otherwise known as the flying serpentine dragon, and it's really the symbol for recreating itself. That's what I've found the more that I've been digging into this, and it's a continual cycle of itself. What it does, it really ends one cycle and it begins another, and that's why you see this brotherhood really moving from one organization to another. They do that every few generations. They create another organization and they do that. So they move from empire to empire. It's a continuous cycle, and it's also the eternal return. So this brotherhood is continually returning in another form, in another fashion, manifesting itself in different ways. It's not so much a reincarnation. What this brotherhood believed through the symbol of the serpent actually eating itself is that it destroys its own organization, in a sense. You see that with the Templars. They destroyed the Templar order and they really just went underground, but then they actually began a new cycle through the Jesuit order. You see that? That's a classic example of how this happens. So that's why it's this symbol of the Saturnalian Brotherhood, and the Roman Empire was exactly the same. You saw that come to an end. That cycle came to an end, but then it was recycled in itself. It recreated itself through the Roman Catholic Church. So this is what I believe the symbol really means. It's a symbol of the eternal return, and really you can also compare that with the phoenix. When you look at the phoenix also, the phoenix rises, doesn't it, out of the ashes, and you read about the phoenix in Greek mythology. This bird was continually recycling itself. It was continually regenerating itself. It was continually reborn. And that's why the Babylonian Brotherhood put their phoenix symbol, obviously, upon America, because the phoenix really is the symbol also of rebirth. And you see it rising out of the fire, also out of the ashes, as some people reveal. But you see also the sun symbol above the phoenix there. And really, there's so many symbols, I don't want to get distracted into too many. But you also have the double-headed eagle, which is actually a double-headed phoenix. They're all symbols of the sun. They're all symbols of empire. And let me go back to this symbol of Ouroboros, this dragon serpentine snake biting its own tail. It really means that in order to survive, it has to move from one empire to the next. Let me be specific. The Babylonian Brotherhood, the Saturnalian Brotherhood that's ruled this earth, have really moved from one empire to the next empire. That's what they do. They've done it from Greece. They moved from Greece into the Roman Empire and brought their Babylonian religion into Rome, the Saturnalian religion into Rome. That's why Rome was called the hill of Saturnalia, as in the hill of Capitoline, which is what the Vatican's built on. But what happens is that the head of all of these orders, they are believed to be God. For instance, Pharaoh was believed to be God himself, divine, and also of royal authority, because he is a king. And it's the same with the Caesars, it's the same with the Pope of Rome. When you look at them all, they are all, actually Pontifex Maximus, they are all ruling over their Babylonian priesthood. And you find that all of these empires through history came to an end. But the Babylonian Saturnalian Brotherhood, they really just then infiltrated another area, another empire, another organization, and then began to bring that there. That's why the religion of Nimrod is really what the symbol is, because Nimrod worships Satan, he worships Saturn, and this is a Saturnalian symbol, that throughout history this empire will survive. Nothing will destroy this empire. It's really a prophetic statement as well, that nothing will destroy the Saturnalian Brotherhood. They will continue throughout history. They will move from empire to empire. They will govern and move through Egypt. They will move through Greece. They will move through all empires. And that is according also to the book of Daniel, that talks about 4 beast empires. And it's one statue, but it moves from Babel and through Greece, Persia, and then Rome. And then, as we know today, the one world government of the toes of iron and clay. And so the symbolism is speaking of continuous governance, and in that the Saturnalian Brotherhood will govern through one empire to the next empire to the next empire. So it's continually recreating itself. It's the eternal return. It's a continuous cycle, and we see that through history. And so that's why they worship this symbol. I mean, they really do, exalt this symbol, because it's a symbol of the fact that they've always been upon the earth. The Saturnalian Babylonian Brotherhood have always existed. There's never been a time in history that they have not dominated the earth. It was the Babylonian mystery religion that dominated, as I've said, Egypt, and but also all religions across the earth. They have Saturnalian symbols, and you can see that very, very clearly. And also you have the dragon symbol. Let me talk about that before I close. With the dragon symbol, the dragon, we know in scripture, is a symbol of Satan, but also it's called the serpentine lizard, in the sense that it is actually a lizard. But the thing is, when you talk about the dragon, you get a lot of disinformation on the internet. Let me just go into that. I have to talk about that. David Icke. Let me talk about David Icke. He talked about the Babylonian Brotherhood. And really he talks about lizards, scaly lizards that exist in the moon. He talks about Zion Moon, how it's a galactic spaceship reading our minds. Of course, he's diverting from the true conspiracy, because he does talk about the Babylonian Brotherhood. You'll probably remember his book, The Biggest Secret. But what he does, he talks about the Babylonian Brotherhood, but then he makes them out to be shape-shifting lizards, reptilians. This is not what they are. And that through blood sacrifices, they actually are able to, manifest in human form and hide their reptilian identity. Complete deception, of course. And what does that do? That just puts people off his work. He does it deliberately to throw people off the fact that what he's bringing out is the truth about the Babylonian Brotherhood. But all the other stuff, you see, that's what they do. That's what these agents do. They hide who they are with the diversion that puts people right off the material, because it's just completely, people can see right through it. Of course there is people, that fall for this deception, of course, from David Icke. But the dragon really is the symbol of Satan. We know that from the book of Revelation. It says the dragon gave unto him his power and his seat and great authority. And it's not just Antichrist, it's every Antichrist in history. Let me explain. Nimrod was Antichrist. He was worshipped as God. and also the sun god through Tammuz, and also you have Osiris in Egypt, another name for Nimrod, of course, that's what it is. And then you have also the gods of Greece. You have Zeus, and you have Jupiter in Rome, you have Saturnalia in Rome, but behind it all is the dragon, giving his power unto all of these beast empires. And they've all been ruled by the Babylonian Brotherhood. Let me explain that. They've all had the Babylonian religion of Satan and his Nimrod religion. And, but, you know, it is the devil. That's what the dragon is. Same with the serpent. That's why if you look at this symbol, again, I'll put it on now, the Ouroboros symbol, you're looking at both. You're looking at a serpent, a flying serpent that is a dragon, biting its own tail, really. And what this really means is that it doesn't matter if one empire ends. You see, because it's the power of the devil behind it, it's Satan behind it. The Egyptian empire came to an end. But what happened? The Babylonian religion of Egypt, where did it move to? Greece. When the Greek empire came to an end, where did the Babylonian religion of Greece go to? Rome. When the Roman Empire came to an end, where did the Babylonian Saturnalia religion emerge from? The Vatican, the hill of Saturnalia, the Catholic Church. So really, this symbol here is a prophetic symbol of the fact that this empire will continue upon the earth, moving through generation through generation. The Ouroboros is really a symbol of a continual cycle, recreating itself. It will never be destroyed. We know that until the Lord Jesus Christ returns to this earth. And that's what it means by eating its own tail. It's the sense of something constantly recreating itself, the eternal return, and other things perceive the cycles that begin anew as soon as they end. And it also means that it will persist from the beginning, in the sense that it will persist, it will continue. And that's the religion we have today. What we have today is the Babylonian worldwide empire of Nimrod. I've said before, that's why if you look at the Strasbourg Parliament, it's modelled after the painting of Bruegel, the unfinished tower. These people are the Babylonian Brotherhood. They've existed and they've continued their kingdom and their empire throughout history, really, moving from one kingdom to another kingdom, to infiltrate and then dominate that kingdom. And ultimately, the pharaohs were worshipped as God, that we know, divine, and reigning over their Babylonian priesthood. That's the truth. And all you have to do is look at the gods of Rome to see that. The Caesars were the gods of Rome. That's what they were. And Pharaoh himself, let me just say this before I close finally. The title of Pharaoh was actually, you know, he was a king over his royal palace, over his kingdom, but Pharaoh was actually God. He was king of his Babylonian kingdom, and believe me, the religion of Egypt was Babylonian. And it's exactly what we see in the Vatican today. The Pope of Rome is God. He is exalted above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Pharaoh himself would do that in his king's palace. He would rule and reign as God. He was worshipped as the sun god Ra. And we see the Pope of Rome today is worshipped as God manifest in the flesh. That's right. As the sun god. It's all the same empire, all the same religion, moving through history. That's why it's no great mystery to us that the mystery of iniquity did already work. The Apostle said that. Apostle Paul said that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. For behold, the mystery of iniquity doth already work, bringing forth the final man of sin, bringing forth the final Pontifex Maximus, the final king of the Babylonian religion today. And that's what the Pope is today. He is the one that exalts himself above God himself, because he's the head of the Saturnalian Brotherhood. My name is Alan Lamont. Thank you for listening, and as always, all roads lead to Rome, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.